So the big board in back of me says we're live. That means it's 6:30 and it's time to get the show started. This is Monday, May 20th, 2024. It's time for the Liquor Control Commission to begin. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Commissioner Raffato?
Commissioner.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I read it.
Go ahead.
Trustee Raffato is absent with prior notice. Commissioner Kruger?
Present.
Commissioner Lang?
Here.
Commissioner Vito?
Here.
Commissioner Papantos?
Present.
Commissioner Vogel?
Here.
Chairperson Horker?
Here. You have before you the minutes of the special meeting of April 15th, 2024. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, Commissioner Papantos, second. Commissioner Vogel, roll call, please.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes. Any citizens' concerns or
No,
comments?
not on liquor.
Okey-doke. Brings us to new business.
Okay. 6A, consideration of a request from Armo Grill LLC, an existing restaurant at 516 North Milwaukee Avenue, to convert a current Class B liquor license to a Class B-1 liquor license.
Mr. Spondilis?
Good evening. The petitioner, Armo Grill, who is an existing restaurant in town, is looking to convert their Class B license to a Class B1. Effectively, a Class B is a full liquor license. A B1 is a beer and wine only license. They felt that a beer and wine only license better fits their business model. So they are asking for a B1 license. They have paid, since we just passed our renewal, they have paid at our suggestion for a B1, which is almost half the cost of a B. So if you say yes, they will have a B1 license effective as of today. If you say no, they would have to pay then for the full Class B license. Happy to answer. I don't believe there's a petitioner here, so I'm happy to attempt any answers you may have to any questions.
Are there any questions about this? There being no questions, I would need a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Lang, second. Commissioner Kruger, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes. Number B.
6B, consideration of a request to update the floor plans associated with the Class O liquor license held by the Wheeling Park District to include the Community Recreation Center at 100 Community Boulevard in the licensed premises.
Mr. Spondilis.
Thank you. At the request of the Park District, staff has drafted new legislation to the Class O liquor license, which is a license that only the Park District holds, which would expand the opportunity for them to sell and provide liquor during their events. There are a number of restrictions on the existing license, the way that it is written, and the change would allow then the distribution of alcoholic beverages to some of the events inside the rec center. Currently, they are limited only to sale outside at the on the field. Matt Webby, would you like to come up and?
Thank you very much. I think Village Manager Spondilis explained it fairly well. Presently, our Class O license covers the Heritage Park Sports Complex and the Heritage Park Performance Pavilion. What we're seeking is to include the Community Recreation Center, not to be a full-service bar by any stretch of the imagination, but there are certain events where feedback from our guests, specifically our 55-plus population, would like to have some holiday parties potentially, some events circling around things like Halloween, Thanksgiving get-togethers, and as well as we currently offer a wine and yoga event, which we cannot host at the Health and Fitness Center, so we have to go to Chevy Chase Country Club, or if the weather permits, host that outside, as well as being able to host a Chamber of Commerce after hours. So sprinkling of events throughout the year is what we are looking to do.
Are there any questions or comments from the board? If there are none, we would need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Commissioner Lang, second. Anybody? What?
Mary.
Oh, I said second.
Oh, I do need hearing aids. Commissioner Papantos, roll call, please.
Commissioner Lang,
Yes.
Commissioner Vito,
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger,
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes, good luck.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the meeting for the Liquor Control Commission for the evening. I need a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Motion, Commissioner Kruger, second, Commissioner Vogel, all in favor?
Yes.
Liquor Control Commission is adjourned. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Village of Wheeling for May 20th, 2024. Clerk Brady,
Hold, please.
roll call, please.
I start there, come on. Okay, almost.
Roll call.
All right, let me just start the meeting, and we're done. Trustee Rufato is absent with prior notice. Trustee Vogel.
Here.
Trustee Papantos.
Present.
Trustee Vito.
Here.
Trustee Lang.
Here.
Trustee Kruger.
Present.
President Horker.
Here. You have before you the minutes of the regular meeting of May 6, 2024. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Lang, roll call, please.
Trustee Vito.
Yes.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Kruger.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel.
Yes.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes this evening.
We have any citizens or concerns or comments?
Yes, we have one. Arlen Gould.
Read
Nope,
the-
Rich Rosen. I'm sorry. I don't know why I just said that.
Don't see him.
Members of the public may address the board with comments regarding issues relevant to village business. No citizen shall speak for more than 5 minutes without consent of the board. Members of the general public who wish to address the board must sign the request to speak prior to the commencement of the public meeting. Okay,
And just as a reminder, this is a time for citizens to make their comments and express their concerns and for the board to listen. Neither the board nor the staff will be answering questions. Good evening, Mr. Rosen. How are you doing?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, first of all, good evening, and thank you for, again, letting me have an opportunity to speak to you. I come to you with two messages. The first one is one that came across a group that I chair over at the Senior Advisory Committee over at Wheeling Township. And it's an item that I think is really going to help improve a few of our residents in trying to get their houses to get painted. Just specifically, I'll read off what it is. It says, our community 2024 Paint-a-thon is going to happen on September 7th this year, where seniors who are 60 years and over with household incomes no greater than $45,000 and where disabled veterans can have their exterior of their homes painted for free. The only other thing is that the house must be owner occupied. So whoever's house they do paint, it's got to be their house. This Paint-a-thon is a 36-year-old volunteer event where teams are recruited from businesses, churches, and civics groups, and a number of paint companies kick in for the paint to be used in the paintbrushes. For further information, if you qualify or if you wish to volunteer, give Linda Leahy, that's Linda Leahy, over at the Wheeling Township. Her phone number, 259-7730. And if, Mr. President, if you would like, I got the brochures here, if you may want to need it to maybe in your monthly newsletter or something like
Sure,
that.
I'll take that.
So I'll give you that as well.
Hope we're not establishing a dangerous precedent here, but I'll take that. Thank you, Mr. Rosen.
Okay, and secondly, I want to talk about a group that I've been with for about 15 years, and that is our Wheeling Rotary. I kind of make this plea every so often, and it's been a while. But I wanted to let it be recognized that the Wheeling Rotary is a 501c3 non-for-profit multicultural club that has been meeting in Wheeling for over 60 years. 60 years we've been here. We are one of 46,000 clubs around the world where humanitarian efforts include fighting disease, fighting hunger, supporting education, protecting the environment, and of course, helping those in need in our community. We are also the home of Jack Blaine, who passed away probably about 8 years ago. And if you don't know who Jack is, and some of you may not, he was a member with ours for over 40 years. And he directly worked with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to create the fund to eradicate polio worldwide. He himself pledged over $1 million to this effort, and I do want to make mention of him now because I really still have a very deep feeling for this man. Today, the number of people paralyzed with polio over these last 4 decades has decreased by 99%, with only less than 200 people in this world now having cases of polio. This is the club that's our Wheeling Club, and I wanted to make it known how important we are to the Rotaries among the 46,000 clubs, much less the people in this city, in this village. So today I'm asking John, as our village manager, or any of our police or fire department, if they would give a consideration of joining us. The Wheeling Rotary, with the community-based Wheeling Helping Hands, which I know many of you are part of, and I think you may know I was part of as well. We all have presence, we all have the room to have the presence of you at both of our clubs, which caters to the caring community, caring about what goes on in this world. So again, our Wheeling Rotary, through me, ask you to also be part of us. Please consider, because we need you. We really do. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosen. Anyone else?
Nope, not today.
Consent agenda.
Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless the board member or citizen so request, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 11A, ordinance approving amendments to the agreement establishing the Solid Waste Agency of Northern Cook County as a municipal joint action agency to the bylaws of the Solid Waste Agency of Northern Cook County, SWANCC. 11B, resolution appointing a director and alternate director to the Solid Waste Agency of Northern Cook County. 11C, resolution waiving the Fidelity bond requirements for ANVETS Post 66 to conduct a raffle from May 21st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. 11D, ordinance declaring as surplus and authorizing the disposal of personal property owned by the Village of Wheeling by recycling, trade-in, donation, or public auction. 11E, resolution authorizing the purchase of emergency equipment for 3 police patrol vehicles and 1 canine vehicle from Ultrastrobe Communications, Inc., in the amount of $17,253.10 for fiscal year 2024. 11F, resolution approving an agreement with Baxter and Woodman for construction engineering services for Phase 1 of the South Dunhurst Stormwater Improvement Project in the amount of $128,800. 11G, resolution accepting a bid and approval, a not-to-exceed contract in the amount of $178,005.90 with BP Construction and Remodeling, Inc. for the interior and exterior painting projects at the village-owned properties. 11H, ordinance amending Chapter 4.32 of the Village of Wheeling's Municipal Code, alcoholic liquor dealers, specifically Section 4.32.085, to increase the authorized number of Class B-1 and to decrease authorized number of Class B, D-4, and N liquor license. 11I, resolution authorizing participation as a member in the Illinois Emergency Management Municipal Aid System response pursuant to the intergovernmental agreement by and between the Village of Wheeling and the Illinois Emergency Service Management Association for the establishment of a mutual aid intergovernmental service agreement. 11J, resolution approving a renewal of the Village of Wheeling's contract with Jean's Village Towing. And 11K, ordinance amending Chapter 4.32 of the Village of Wheeling's Municipal Code, alcoholic liquor dealers, specifically Section 4.32-080, classes of license, subsection O, to allow the sale, service, and consumption of alcohol beverages in the Wheeling Park District Community Recreation Center.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the issues? If there are none, I'd be looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Trustee Lang, second.
Second?
Trustee Kruger, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos,
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes. Business.
13A, resolution waiving the Fidelity bond requirements for Wheeling Helping Hands to conduct raffle on July 13, 2024.
Mr. Spondilis.
Thank you. Much like the board just did as part of the consent agenda for AMVET's Post 66, this is simply a waiving of the Fidelity bond requirements for a Wheeling Helping Hands raffle. The reason it is on new business is to provide Trustee Vogel the opportunity to abstain since he is a part of that organization. Happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions? If there are none, need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second?
Motion, Trustee Kruger, second, Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Abstain.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
13B, resolution approving the final plat of Dunhurst Subdivision Unit Number 5, 515 East Merle Lane, docket number PSUBFP 24-0001.
Mr. Clicker.
Yes, as you may recall, at our last board meeting, you approved the request for a preliminary plat for this and the actual construction documents for the detention basin that is going to be built in cooperation with School District 21 at Mark Twain School. This is the final plat. Again, the order of procedure is we approve the preliminary, then we do have to approve the final. So the final is before you for your consideration.
Questions or comments?
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Trustee Vogel, second.
Second?
Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos,
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
13C, ordinance authorizing a second amendment to the redevelopment agreement between the Village of Wheeling and Uptown 500 LLC for the development of land on 500 West Dundee Road in Wheeling, Illinois, comprising of part of the town centers to TIF district of the Village of Wheeling.
Mr. Spondelis.
Thank you. Before you this evening is legislation that is the vehicle to allow the village to pay for a mural at the Uptown 500 residential development. You may recall that during the initial talks of that development, there was discussion about how to disguise some of that garage area so it didn't look so much like a sea of concrete. So the staff came up with an idea of installing a mural on a large chunk of the south and west facing portions of the garage. And in cooperation with ownership of Uptown 500, we have come to this agreement before you this evening for an artist to come in this summer and install a mural that is along the lines of the original intent, which is a living wall, meaning the mural would be of foliage, it would be plants and flowers, again, which was the original thought behind trying to disguise some of those segments of the garage. The village has an artist ready and willing to do this, has submitted a proposal. This language was based around that proposal, and ownership of Uptown 500 has agreed. We would be giving them this grant, this money. They would be paying the artist directly. And I think Attorney Furlow can answer any questions, or I can, regarding the process or the legislation itself. Can I just say one more thing? This came before the Plan Commission 2 weeks ago. There was a tie vote. There were some questions. So the next step, should the board agree tonight, is that it would come back before you through a public hearing process in order to approve the question that was asked of the Plan Commission, which is, will we allow a mural at this site? It's as simple as that. As far as the image itself, I will be providing the board a copy of the rendering once the contract is signed and the artist knows that he has a project to pursue. He will complete a full color rendering of what the image will look like. I will provide that to the board. I will also be providing it to the ownership of the building so that everyone is fully aware of what is happening before it does. With that, Attorney Furlow, if there's anything to add or if there are any questions.
There's nothing to add. Happy to answer any questions.
Trustee Lang and then Trustee Papantos so far?
Thank you. So I now see the sections A, B, and C that are proposed. Is that enough in everyone's opinion? Is there a next north of A? Would there be a possible need along the backside? And I mean, how much would it increase the cost of it? It's really not that pricey of a proposal anyway, in my mind, for what it's going to do. So I'm asking, I guess, you're waiting for a question there. Can we do another section? Is that necessary, or is it going to just fine on its own?
I'll leave the answer to whether it's necessary to you. The artist, I'm sure, would be more than happy to continue moving westward, so it would be to the left of what he called Section A. I'm sure he would be willing to do that, and based on my conversations with the ownership of the building, I don't think that they would have a problem with it. Of course, we would have to go back to them and make sure that they're okay with that. And we would have to then change the amount. So I don't know what that would be, but I agree with you. Based on the proposal, I don't think it would be that much money, but I think it would exceed what we're asking for this evening.
Sure.
But if you all agree that that's something to pursue, I can do that with the artist and speak with ownership, and then we would come back to amend the amendment.
Right. It would be a revised second amendment.
And the only reason I think we would need to do that is so that he can begin. as opposed to just wait 2 weeks. It would be nice for him to know he has a contract so he can begin the rendering work.
And, okay, and maybe my second question would help. Is it a subtle design we're looking for, or something very colorful and stand out and jump out at you?
It is very colorful and stand out and jump out at you in a appropriate, respectful way. But it is big and bold and colorful.
It is a subtle jump out at you.
It is a subtle jump out at
I
you.
grab it.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so in that case, I probably wouldn't blend with the unpainted panels either. It would be night and day with the unpainted panels.
Because of the design itself, I think the blending can happen just through the foliage sort of dissipating, not fading, but it wouldn't be a straight line where you have mural and then you have concrete.
Keep that in mind when doing the design. I'm not going to design it for you, but keep that in mind when you're doing it. And then last question is the grass going to go?
He's going to work around it. He's going to incorporate the grass in, because they're already there, and it would cost even more money to remove them. And since it's grass, he's going to work around it and incorporate it into his design.
I haven't seen it up close. From the road, it looks like it's just hanging there.
It's actually steel racks of fake grass,
Huh?
and up close, it actually looks much nicer than
Okay.
than it looked. But it will be, the answer is it will be incorporated into the design.
Questions answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Lang. Trustee Papantos?
Thank you. Normally, with TIF grants, it's pay-as-you-go. Is this going to be a pay-as-you-go? In other words, we won't send the money until, I guess this is an attorney.
It's going to be paid on a reimbursement basis, so the developer will enter the contract with the artist, the developer will pay, and we will reimburse based on proof of payment.
Great. Thank you.
That's how it's written.
If there are, oh, Trustee Kruger.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Managers Fondilas, how long would the finished product last before it needs touch-up or?
The artist says a typical mural with the paints that he's using lasts 25 to 30 years.
Nice, okay, thank you.
That's nice. If there are no other questions,
May I add, do I have direction to extend the design? Is that?
Trustee Kruger?
How many more sections are there beyond A?
I knew someone was going to ask that. I think
Two?
there's,
I think there's two
does
as
anybody
well.
know?
You know, we could do a little each year and it would just grow.
Foliage tends
I
to do that.
apologize. I don't know the answer to that. It's at least 2, maybe 3. Everyone's quickly typing with their thumbs.
Got it.
I would suggest we get this approved or considered tonight, and with the direction to perhaps investigate extending the design.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
That you like it?
Sounds like a smart choice.
Okay.
All right. All questions have been answered. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos,
Second.
second. Trustee Kruger, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. That's it. Official communications, anyone? Left, right? If there is no other business or communications for the evening, we have one more little bit of business. We have approval of the bills from May 2nd to May 15th.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, I need a second.
Second.
Trustee Vogel, roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang? Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, we do have an executive session this evening for pending probable and/or imminent litigation, as well as the discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the Open Meetings Act. Therefore, I need a motion to recess into executive session and adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Kruger, second.
Second.
Trustee Vito, roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, regular meeting is adjourned at 7 o'clock. We will reconvene at 7:05 in the executive session room.